Alright, hey guys, this is Elite Cheese again. This time bringing you another Ubers battle using the same team that I used in the last video. It's been working out very well. I've even used this team on PO sometimes, and it almost always brings out a win. So we'll see how well it does in this game. This game comes down to the wire in the end. I believe it is a 1-0 for the victor. So I hope you enjoy the battle, and here it is. Alright, so I'm going to lead off with my Groudon because that is generally my standard lead for this team, and I expected him to lead with his Palkia, who I could threaten with the super effective Earthquake, or his Kyogre, who generally runs speed, whereas my Groudon runs 0 speed, so I would get up the sun rather than him getting up the rain, which would give me an advantage. But he ends up leading with his Skarmory. That's not bad either. But what I really should have done on this first turn is switched out to Ho-Oh, predicting the Stealth Rocks. I have not been doing a good job of doing that in Ubers. I need to start predicting other people's Stealth Rocks and switch to Ho-Oh on that turn, so I'm not going to be taking that damage. But instead, I just go for my own rocks when he goes for his too. I was half expecting him to have spikes on his Skarmory instead of rocks, since he does have that, I think I said Palkia, I meant to say Dialga earlier, because Dialga tends to run Stealth Rock. He frequently runs a bulky set with Stealth Rocks. But not this time. This time his Skarmory has Stealth Rocks, and as I find out here, he also carries the spikes. So I am not a big fan of getting these entry hazards up on me, so I'm going to go Volt Switch out here, because I know that'll break his Sturdy, which is great. And then I could either go into something else which can finish him off, but instead I decided to go into my own entry hazard setter upper. That was a weird way of saying that, setter upper, which would be my Ferrothorn for this team, and then I'll be able to get up my own spikes on him, so that we're even in entry hazards. He does not have any Rapid Spinners. I guess he's got Kabutops, and I suppose Kabutops could be running Rapid Spin, but that's not very likely. It's probably just a Swords Dance 3-attack set with Life Orb. So he gets up another layer of spikes. He's at 2 layers. I'll get up my first layer here. So while he gets up his 3rd layer. And then I'm expecting after we all get our spikes up, I'm expecting him to either want to roost to try to get back up to a Sturdy in 2 turns, or to just whirlwind me out to start racking up the entry hazard damage on my team. So we'll find out here what he wants to go for. It's probably either going to be Roost or Whirlwind. I'm just going to try to set up my next layer. No matter what he goes for, I'm going to get up my 2nd layer on this turn, because I already got up 1 layer. And since I go first, I know he's going for Whirlwind, and I get extremely lucky on this Whirlwind, and he just so happens to send me out into my Zekrom, which is perfect because I have that stab super effective move on him. It doesn't matter which one I go for. I decided to go for Volt Switch again because I don't want to be locked into the Bolt Strike, because I know he has the Dialga, and Dialga takes Bolt Strikes very well since he does resist it. So I'm just going for the Volt Switch, get Switch Advantage, or finish off his Skarmory. I love these situations where you can just go for either a Volt Switch or a U-turn and either kill them or get Switch Advantage. It always works out great. So I do that, kill his Skarmory, and now there's really nothing on his team that... Actually, Kabutops is a pretty good counter for Arceus, but yeah, I was thinking Arceus counter in that matter, because I do have that normal Life Orb Extreme Speed Arceus, which is extremely threatening, and Skarmory makes a great counter to that. But since he no longer has that, I know I'll be pretty much set to sweep with it later on, though. We'll see if I can pull that off. I'm gonna bring my Ho-Oh here. I can't remember exactly why I did that. I guess since I already have since he already has Stealth Rocks up, Ho-Oh is not going to be very useless later on. It's pretty much either going to be switch fodder or death fodder, which was what ends up happening here because he brings in his Kyogre on it. That was probably a bad play on my part, since that was really just an invitation for him to set up his rain. I was going for Brave Bird there in case he overpredicted and wanted to go for Ice Beam. But I see here that he's Life Orb, and Life Orb with Water Spout is not a good combination because you want your HP to be as high as possible when you're running Water Spout. It would make more sense for me running Leftovers than Life Orb, though even more sense to be running a choice set. But I know I can bring my Ferrothorn here, and I can resist his stab, and I can take his Ice Beams pretty well, and then I can get my Leech Seed, and he's not going to be able to be doing much to me because I'm going to be recovering a ton of HP, because Kyogre does have a lot of HP, whereas Ferrothorn does not have too much, so it'll be a better percentage for me, even though I'm running max HP, and I don't expect him to be running much, if any. So yeah, I know I'll be able to take another Ice Beam. I believe I go for Thunder Wave this turn, and he must not have predicted that Thunder Wave because he switches into his Kabutops. I honestly have no idea why he switched into his Kabutops. I am not threatened by this thing at all. The worst thing he could probably go for on me is a brick break. And then he'd be taking the steel iron barbs. Is it iron barbs or steel thorns? I don't remember. One of them's Japanese, one of them's English, but he'll be taking iron barbs or steel thorns no matter what he goes for on me. And he ends up going for the X scissor, which is just neutral, and without me even setting up the leech seed, that's not even going to 2-hit KO me with leftovers. And so I'm just going to get my spikes up, and next turn I'm going to set up a leech seed. I believe he ends up going for the swords dance so they can start doing more damage to me. Oh, but he gets paralyzed. Okay, I forgot about that. That's very unfortunate for him, but you know, when you use Thunder Wave that much, it's bound to happen at some point. So it does being like really annoying throughout the game. That just kind of happened.
But I have my leech seed up on him, so I know that he is not going to want to stay here at all. So I'm going to predict his switch to anything else, and I'm going to put up a Thunder Wave on it, because I don't remember there being anything on his team that would enjoy a Thunder Wave, except maybe his Dialga, who probably wouldn't mind it that much. But that ends up working out perfectly, because he switches out into his Darkrai, which is a Pokemon that depends on its speed so much. And having that thing Thunder Waved means that everything on my everything on my team, besides this Ferrothorn, will be able to outspeed him now, which is going to help so much. I'm just going to leave my Ferrothorn in here, either as Death Fodder or as Sleep Fodder. Either way, it doesn't matter. It ends up being Death Fodder, doesn't go for the Dark Void. I feel it would have been better for him to go with the Dark Void, I think, because then he could have gotten a hit off on something else on my team. But, oh well, I'm fine with him doing that. That's great. So I think about what I want to switch into here for a while, because since he has those 3 layers of spikes up, no matter what I go into, I'm going to be taking a ton of damage, and I don't really like that. But I end up deciding to go to my Mewtwo because, from what I can remember, what he has left on his team, none of them will be, okay, let me rephrase that. All of them will be able to be taken out by Mewtwo, since his only faster Pokemon is his Kabutops, because I've already seen that his Kyogre is not Scarfed, it's Life Orb. And so he is just going to switch into his Kabutops. Great play on his part, just Death Fodder that out since it is paralyzed. And honestly, in Ubers, the only thing Kabutops is good for is Swift Swim, being fast. And since he's paralyzed, he's completely useless now. I think at this point he should have switched into his Rayquaza, because obviously I find out later that it carries the extreme speed, but it almost always does anyway. And well, I don't know. That extreme speed actually might not kill me at this health. I'm not really sure. But he ends up going into his Dialga. That did not work out well for him, because he's going to be able to take this Aura Sphere, because Dialga tends to be pretty bulky. I'm thinking he's probably running a specially defensive set too, since he carries the bulk up. I do not know why he went for the bulk up here. Maybe he just expected to die and just wanted some more Life Orb Recoil on me, so he just clicked a move. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm assuming that's what it was. He just wanted to rack up one more Life Orb Recoil on me so that he was sure that extreme speed from Rayquaza would kill me. But I don't know. He should have just gone for an attack, you know, just in case he did live that, which he did, and that ended up hurting him a ton, because now I'm not going to have to switch something else in on his Dialga, so he gets switch advantage, and that would mean that I would be, what was I going to say? Oh, and then I'd have to kill his Dialga with something else, and then I'd be taking all those spikes damage, and then he'd get switch advantage when his Dialga died. Instead, I get the switch advantage on his Rayquaza coming in on my Mewtwo. So now I know I can safely go out into my Groudon, which I nicknamed Grand, which I believe is the name of that. Well, we'll just see if anybody gets the reference in the description or in the comments. Probably not. I might have even done it wrong, but since this is a max defense Groudon, I can take any of his hits no problem. I could probably even take a Fire Blast, though I'm not sure about that. But he does not end up carrying that because he just goes for the Dragon Claw. Oh, I thought I missed the Dragon Tail here, but I did not. That's great. I will be able to get some damage on him, as well as the next time he switches in, he's going to be taking even more Stealth Rock damage. It does not look like he'll die to Stealth Rocks next time he switches in, which is unfortunate, but will not end up mattering because he'll just die to one more Life Orb Recoil instead. So he's just going to bring in his Darkrai here, I'm assuming for Death Fodder, because he's slower than me since he's paralyzed, and I can just kill him off with an Earthquake. So that Paralyze on his Darkrai helped a ton. It meant that he didn't get anything on my team asleep, which is great, because having something asleep on your team is just a huge, huge pain in 5th gen with the sleep temperature setting. I hate that. Though it has, you know, it's just something to get used to in the new metagame.
But now he's going to bring in his Kyogre. He's got just a sliver of health left after the Stealth Rocks and Spikes, which means that he is going to die to another Life Orb Recoil. So I'm just going to leave my Groudon in here for Death Fodder, because I do not really need it anymore. All of the Pokemon on my team that benefit from having the sun up are now dead. So I don't really care about what weather's up anymore. And his Kyogre is just going to die to Life Orb, so that works out great for me. It's a double down, and on this double down, I believe his only Pokemon left is Rayquaza, which he has to send in here. So I am going to go into my Zekrom because I forgot whether he had another Pokemon left or not. Couldn't remember if Rayquaza was his last. I knew he had his Rayquaza still because I've seen it, but I'm just going to bring in Zekrom to be safe, just in case he had something else left. Since this Zekrom is Scarfed, I could then kill it with my Zekrom, and then his Rayquaza I knew would die to Life Orb Recoil after the Stealth Rocks. But instead, since his Rayquaza is his last, he's just going to die to his Life Orb after using Extreme Speed on me, which means that it will end up being a 1-0 because I still had my Arceus left, which I also could have brought in on his Rayquaza, killed with Extreme Speed. But I didn't want to risk that he had something else left on his team that could have killed my Arceus, and then we would have tied if I could have killed that with my Zekrom, and then he could finish me off with his Rayquaza. So yeah, I ended up winning there, though, since he does die to his Life Orb Recoil. I don't even have to bring in my Arceus. So that was a good game, pokekazzam. I don't know if it's pokekazzam or pokekazzam. I'm going to guess pokekazzam, like Alakazam. But, yeah, good game. He was a guy from Smogon. I've battled him in the past, actually. I think I have another upload against him on YouTube. But we'll probably have some more battles in the future. He's a pretty good player, so it's been pretty enjoyable playing him. I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. If you did, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more content in the near future. The next upload will be a UU battle. So yeah, wait, will it be UU? I don't remember. Yes, it will be. No, it won't be. Okay, my bad. It's actually going to be an OU battle. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the battle and have a great day.